So the Packers just lost 17-13 against the Las Vegas Raiders, who I do think the Raiders are one of the worst teams in the NFL, which I guess will make us now one of the worst teams in the NFL. It was just a bad performance on many different fronts. Honestly, the defense didn't have that bad of a day. There were some questionable moments, like Rudy Ford, lining up in the end zone 10 yards off when the Raiders were out to score. Preston Smith on Devontae. There were some questionable moments from the defense and Joe Barry. But the biggest issue was the Packers offense, who in 3 straight games has had 3 points or less. And I saw an interesting statistic posted by Rob Domofsky that is the first time that has happened, scoring 3 points or less in 3 straight first halves since 1990. So it hasn't happened in 33 years. So that sort of just shows you just the struggles this Packers offense is having. We came into this game, Aaron Jones wasn't able to go. The Packers decided to feed A.J. Dillon. He carried the ball 20 times, 76 yards, 3.8 yards per carry. It was a somewhat okay day for A.J. Dillon, who I think early in the year struggled a lot. But this was a really poor day for Jordan Love, who had, his first interception was really bad, even if the guy who caught it wouldn't have been there. There was another guy behind him. Really poor decision. Same with the second one. Christian Watson, the guy was all over him, tips it, ball pops up. And then the final one with the Packers, even having such a bad game, having a chance in the fourth quarter to potentially come in there and win the game on the final drive. Watson beats his guy. Love puts it up, isn't able to really put it up high enough or far enough for Christian Watson to really have a chance at it. So that ends the night with Jordan Love's third pick. And so we've seen lots of inconsistency from Jordan Love. I think the first couple weeks, there was lots of promise. He had one of the top passer ratings in the NFL, tons of touchdowns, no interceptions. And now, especially in this game, he struggled. The offense really never got in a rhythm. The first half was super, super sloppy. It felt like every single play, the Packers were just throwing like screens that went for a yard, run the ball for a few yards. And even though I know this is a very young team, a very young offense with tons of young pass catchers, I just feel like we should be seeing more than we're getting from them right now. I understand we should have some, potentially growing pains just with the inexperience of this unit. But something needs to change here because the inability to get off to fast starts, I was thinking, after the past 2 games, can we finally, push the ball down the field in the first half, get some points, get some touchdowns, get things going. And once again, the Packers aren't able to do anything. And it's not like this is a Raiders defense that is a top unit in the league. Coming into this game, the Raiders are the 24th ranked scoring defense in the NFL, and the Packers made them look like they were, a top 5 defense in this game. So much to clean up. There was even one play near the end there where I think it was Troy Aikman was breaking it down. There's 3 guys, routes all at the same spot. He's like, I don't know what that play call is. So I think there should be maybe some questions with the play calling, some questions with the Packers' ability to push the ball down the field. Jordan Love not really making the wisest decisions. And so all in all, the Packers offense looks very sloppy. And so, this 23 season, the whole idea was to see, okay, how good is Jordan Love? What can he do? And I think so far we've seen lots of inconsistency. There's no doubt that he can push the ball down the field. He's had some issues, though, with the deep ball accuracy. Some of these Packers receivers as well dropping some balls on the final drive. Musgrave with a drop, Romeo Doubs with a drop. And so this is just a very broken offense right now. And I think getting Aaron Jones back should help, but it's not going to solve all these issues because I think there are plenty of issues here on this offense. And then if we look at the defense, the Raiders put up 17 points. All in all, it wasn't that bad of a day from the defense. I did mention those few plays, but we held them to 96 yards, 3.3 yards per carry. It's not like they gashed us on the ground. And this has been a Packers rushing defense that, hasn't really been able to hold up well this year. And this is the Raiders' offense is one of the worst rushing offenses in the NFL. So it was a fine day for the Packers' rushing defense. Garoppolo goes 22 of 31, 208 yards, a touchdown, an interception, sacked 3 times. And so we mainly did a good job in pass coverage as well. If you look at Devontae, only 4 receptions, 45 yards. So all in all, pretty solid day from the secondary. Jacoby Myers, 7 receptions, 75 yards. And I think the biggest issue is, when you have your offense, getting 3 points in the first half, 13 points overall, there's not much more you can ask for from the defense. And I think we've seen this Packers defense when we play against, weaker units like the Bears, like the Raiders, who I still think are one of the bottom 5, bottom 10 offenses in the league. The Packers play, have a somewhat good game. But anytime this defense faces, top tier talent, even mid tier opponents like, let's say, the Falcons, we're not really able to get things done. So this is a good performance by the defense, which I guess is something you can somewhat positive take away from. But there's still some questionable decisions. Like, I mean, Joe Barry is just known for, especially, among Packers Twitter and Packers fans, just to, in these big situations when, they're 10 yards from scoring and Rudy Ford's 10 yards off the ball. Before the play even snapped, or before the ball even snapped, I looked at Ford and I was like, oh no, like there's a slant coming right in the middle there. And what do you know? They score a touchdown on that play. So questionable decisions as well with the Preston Smith on Devontae. Like, what is that? I don't know. Some questionable decisions on defense. But all in all, I would say the offense is the biggest culprit here. Jordan Love having definitely his worst game of the season. And let's just hope that the Packers can go into the bye and figure things out, solve these offensive issues, which in the past few weeks they just really haven't been able to solve. Lots of inconsistency, lots of issues here, no consistency whatsoever. So Matt LaFleur is going to need to figure something out here, because I still think this, even though this offense is young and experienced, there's lots of talent, there's lots of speed. Christian Watson, Luke Musgrave, Jaden Reed, Dontavian Wicks. I think we should be getting more out of this unit, honestly, with the speed and talent we have here. And, also, too, we got to bring up Max Crosby. Had a big day, consistently getting pressure. And there were some issues there with the Packers O-line. But all in all, it wasn't a terrible day from the offensive line. Definitely Max Crosby was an issue. Outside of that, I don't think there were too many terrible issues. But now the Packers are sitting at 2-3. And this is an average to below average team right now, the way they're playing. Probably below average right now. And so we'll see if they can get these things cleaned up and come back, our game after the bye, and hopefully we'll see these offensive issues fixed. But right now, not great. Not a great start for the Packers at 2-3. But that's pretty much my breakdown for the game. If you want more Packers content, feel free to subscribe. But I'll see you guys next time.